Taiwan was way better than we imagined.
So today we're going over 5 common misconceptions that people have about Taiwan.
When we first knew we were going to Taiwan, we honestly had no idea what it was going to be like.
Not really. We'd seen some videos and we have friends that live there, but we really didn't know.
Until we bought a one-way ticket to Taipei.
And somehow, we ended up staying in Taiwan for 2 months.
And pretty quickly we realized a lot of people picture Taiwan in a way that doesn't match the reality at all, especially outside of East Asia.
So in today's video, we're taking you with us as we break down 5 common myths people have about Taiwan.
And as a bonus, at the end, we'll share 3 things that made our trip to Taiwan even better.
And it all started just a few minutes after arriving in Taipei. I'm Noelle.
And I'm Jonathan.
We're on a mission to live in 100 countries.
Ever wonder what would happen if you got rid of all your stuff and traveled around?
A few years ago, we would have said that was crazy or irresponsible.
But there's more than one way to travel.
Whether it's months in Colombia,
Or months in Romania,
weeks crossing oceans,
slowly traveling the world.
we're writing our own story.
Everywhere we go, we meet amazing people.
This channel may not be for you, but we're inviting you to come along with us.
Because we're not just traveling.
Subscribe for free.
Say Taiwan.
Taiwan. Taiwan is...
What comes to mind when you think of Taiwan? If you've never been there or done much research, you probably picture a tiny island that makes a lot of computer chips.
And we even heard people say that the people are more beautiful than the place, which is a compliment to the people.
But does that mean Taiwan is just some tiny, ugly industrial place full of semiconductor factories?
Absolutely not. Taiwan is a stunning island in the Pacific Ocean, actually bigger than Belgium. And it surprised us right away.
Even going from the airport into Taipei, we were shocked by how green everything was.
Inside the city, there are botanical gardens that you can just walk around. Huge outdoor parks, great for doing some exercise. And the nicest zoo we've ever seen. And the zoo is like $3 US. 3! That's so affordable! The zoo is home to some beautiful animals endemic to the island of Taiwan, like the Formosan black bear.
Heading south to Kaohsiung, it gets even warmer and even more beautiful.
And because it's on an island, yes, there are beaches and some really good surf spots too.
It's so warm that in Taipei, they even have underground malls just to escape the heat.
Speaking of cool things underground, it doesn't compare to what we're talking about next. You need a rental car.
A lot of people think you need to rent a car to get around Taiwan.
This is absolutely not true. Taiwan has the best public transportation we've ever seen anywhere.
Taipei's metro is clean, reliable, and ridiculously easy to navigate, as well as very affordable to ride.
And underground, you also have the high-speed trains. They're just as good as the ones in Japan.
We even made an entire video about riding the bullet train from Taipei in the north all the way to Kaohsiung in the south.
But our favorite thing? Hands down, the U-bike system. You already know from our recent video, we love U-bikes.
Kaohsiung also has the slow-moving but super nice LRT, which we honestly wish Taipei had too.
Which brings us to our next misconception, and you've probably guessed it. Taiwan is underdeveloped.
Some people imagine Taiwan as a poor or outdated country.
But if that was ever true, it's definitely not true now. Taiwan is completely modern.
Just look at the public transportation. It's world class.
And of course, you can't miss Taipei 101. It used to be the tallest building in the world until the Burj Khalifa was completed in 2010.
But it's not just one skyscraper. Everywhere you go, Taiwan feels efficient and intentional.
This is literally the place that makes the most advanced computer chips in the world. Your phone, your laptop, they probably depend on something built in Taiwan.
Even simple things impressed us. How clean everything was. How reliable the Wi-Fi was.
Taiwan might not be loud about its achievements, but once you're there, you realize quickly how advanced it is.
Which makes misconception number 4 even more interesting.
Taiwan is culturally one-dimensional.
A lot of Americans assume that because Chinese is spoken in Taiwan, the entire culture is basically the same as Chinese culture.
But Taiwan is layered, nuanced, and full of influences from around the world.
You see Japanese influence everywhere, from anime figures to cute things and cat cafes.
And the food? It's not just Chinese food and boba. You can get everything. The best burgers ever, authentic southern chicken and waffles just like in the United States, even IKEA Swedish meatballs if you want them.
Don't forget that they also have McDonald's and Pizza Hut, of course. Doesn't every place have those?
Sometimes you just need something familiar to eat.
Boba did originate here though, so Taiwan wins that category.
But seriously, the variety surprised us. Whatever you're craving, you can probably find it. It's not just Chinese food. You must speak Chinese to travel in Taiwan.
This one is super common. People assume Taiwan is hard to visit if you don't know Mandarin.
But it was actually pretty easy for us. Most signs have English translations right next to the Chinese characters.
And whenever we needed help, people were incredibly kind and almost always knew enough English to guide us.
Inside the metro and at local stores, using the Easy card also made everything, well, easy. It really does live up to the name.
But our time in Taiwan would have been much harder without 3 specific things we're sharing next. And if you're liking this video, hit the like button. The Google Translate camera feature.
The first thing that made our trip in Taiwan so much easier was the Google Translate camera feature.
With it, you can just snap a photo of any Chinese characters and it instantly translates them for you. It feels like magic every time.
We used it anytime something wasn't already translated into English, which did happen occasionally.
You can download the app for free. We added a QR code on the screen and a link in the description so you can find it easily.
And seriously, if we had to type out the Chinese characters ourselves, no idea where we would even begin. That would have taken forever.
But for this to work, you need internet. So that brings us to number 2. Cellular data via eSIM. Most people know about physical SIM cards, but what made our trip way easier was not needing one at all.
We bought a virtual SIM card through the Airalo app. We installed it before we even left for Taiwan, and the second we landed, it activated instantly.
We've put a QR code on the screen and a link in the description so you can check it out or download the app.
It does cost a few dollars, depending on how much data you need. But if you use our referral link, you'll get a pretty big discount.
And it worked everywhere, even on mountaintops, not just in our apartment, which brings us to number 3. Using a VPN.
Whether we were using our eSIM data or Wi-Fi at our apartment, we always used a VPN.
We used NordVPN, and on the app, you can easily set it up on all of your devices in just a couple taps.
We added a QR code on the screen and a link in the description if you want to read more or try it out.
If you're not familiar with what a VPN does, we highly recommend learning about it, especially if you travel.
Cybersecurity is becoming more and more important, and having a VPN just made everything more secure and totally hassle-free for us. So those were the 5 biggest misconceptions we had heard about Taiwan, plus a few things that made our trip way more smooth.
If you're thinking about visiting, don't let old assumptions or random internet comments scare you off.
Taiwan surprised us in the best possible way, and we think it'll surprise you too.
Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more from our adventures in Taiwan or Asia, check out our other videos.